On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again. It is time for those monthly updates. Welcome to Monday. It's the first full week of April, and we are back in the seat, back in the hot seat. It is time to do our financial updates for the month of March 2026. The numbers are in, the dust is settled, and, good or bad, as many people as get out here in these internet streets and talk about finance, very few of them actually share the actual numbers. They actually rarely share their actual results unless, like gamblers, it's just the wins. And as I always say, if you win all the time, where's your hedge fund? Where's your massive wealth? Why are you still going to work? These are legitimate questions. Like, you should be able to facilitate that it's a decision metrically that you're still doing whatever it is that you're doing. I know I'll be able to do that. And having shared the journey, we'll be able to backtrack and look at the numbers and look at what we were doing. So we're going to get into it because this month we went backwards. It just is what it is. The monthly numbers are not what we would want, but we are in a Bitcoin bear market, and having basically all of my net worth touching Bitcoin, it is what it is. Like, you're just going to have to, you got to eat your L's. And so you still gotta do what you got to do. You got to show up. So what we are going to do is run through the numbers just like we do at the beginning of every month. We're going to go ahead and start off with the net worth. Oh, my Windex is in here. I'm going to get that out of the shot. Jesus, I didn't sit it on the right part of the desk because we had to update the calendar today. A little Windexing was involved. Net worth, we are down, moving backwards. We're taking a step backwards to take multiple steps forwards. We are down $10,000. I can't even say numbers right now. We are down $10,882.60 in the wrong direction, in the negative. We're still holding on. We're still above $200,000 in net worth collectively, but we have fallen off the $250,000 marker. I am still pushing towards growing towards a 300, 250 plus marker this year. I'm still striving for that goal. I'm still pushing it. Going fully invested, we're going to have a little bit more of an opportunity to facilitate that, in my opinion. And yeah, we're gonna get right with it. That's what we're doing. It's just what it is. We still march towards the goal no matter what. Next thing we're going to look at is our savings percentage, which is insane this month. There's a couple of other numbers that are going to be pretty crazy this month as well, but our savings percentage was 95.55%. That means we saved almost all of our money. Reason being, we spun that Citibank flywheel. In doing so, we put ourselves in a position where we got an influx of money. The second thing we did was we did not just take that and immediately carte blanche start blanket blasting the debt. Why? Because I have a financial system now, and I wanted to use my financial system. So being fully invested, we invested that money and cleared off our margin balance. So we're running it as close to flat as possible. Obviously, there are things that come out of there that put us in a margin draw position, but overall, we want that to be as close to flat as possible. So we pulled our monthly start off of the year stuff off of that. And outside of that, we are we had a couple of bills, but like we also were floating some of those bills. So I have about another $10,000 that I have sitting that is earmarked that would be in margin, but we're filtering it in, and I'm using that to buy dips only. So unless something falls below what its metric is supposed to be, we've got a good amount of dry powder now sitting in the background specifically for buying dips. And then the margin, we're trying to keep it as low as possible and pay off this debt in chunks, but with it running as close to flat as we can. Moving on to the next thing is how much did we save? What do those numbers equate out to? So this month we put away $18,326. That's a lot of money going straight into investments, straight in there. That's the obviously most I've ever saved in a month so far. Well, no, it's not, because back during the DeFi days we were doing some crazy numbers. So I have saved more than that over the course of a month. Actually, no, I haven't. I haven't saved that much over the course of a month. Period. Ever. That's the most I've saved, which means that like I kept it. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. That's money that we kept, that we put into the system that is actively working. That's the most I've ever saved in a month. Put away, working. I can go open the brokerage account right now. I smile. It's working. Moving on to the total income for the month. Obviously, we saved 95%, like almost 96% of our income. This month, we had almost a $20,000 month with that cash infusion from cranking the Citibank flywheel. That's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm looking forward to the days when this is a normality and not an exception. After we get the debt cleared, the only large debt that we will be carrying is when we spin flywheels, which will be to boost the account. So this will be happening a few times a year. But accomplishments are accomplishments. Like that's a good amount of money that came in. Like, like apparently that's getting to the bag money, which is nice. It's good to bask in the light every once in a while, get a taste of it, but you got to plant seeds when it's time to plant seeds, and you harvest when it's time to harvest. And right now we are in this Bitcoin bear market, and we are planting seeds, and we are definitely getting active on that. Along with the Citibank flywheel, we also had the flywheel from Bitcoin. We are now able to leverage Bitcoin. We are leveraging Bitcoin. We are leveraging Bitcoin during the bear market, which is pretty awesome. It's, in my opinion, it is much better and safer to pull those types of levers when Bitcoin is down in the dumps, and you have enough to do it, because then it grows, which makes it a lot easier to manage your loan to value ratios and all that good stuff. That also added to our income pool. The next thing that we're getting into is, and these episodes are the financial updates, actually, we're going to start breezing through these, because most of the explanation and the context is going to come from tomorrow's episode, which will be the portfolio update. That's kind of where the predecessor of this goes. Like, I'm salaried, so the income that I get every month is pretty much more or less the same. The variables are literally all portfolio and investment related. So moving from that perspective, we can just breeze through this. This one won't take up a whole bunch of your time. Our distributions and dividend income, we broke $3,000 for the month of March, which is awesome. We were at $3,173, which at base level, we're beating the take home from the salary. That's awesome. That's, I can stay home money and live the exact same lifestyle I have now. Would that be a little bit difficult with the debt load currently? Yes. Which is why you can't hit a number and then just start making emotional decisions. You can hit a number and start making strategic decisions. That's an option. And then last but not least, our credit, which we had dropped down to 715. Obviously, when you're using your credit goes down. It's what it is. And we ratcheted on that flywheel again. So that put our credit down to 715. This at the end of March, we were at 719. If everything goes according to plan, the credit number should be creeping back up as we eliminate out debt. As we eliminate out debt, it will open up more flywheel opportunities, and we'll be looking at those as well. But as it sits right now, we are going to be using the margin to really dial in on eliminating the consumer debt. Like this last rotation of, well, I guess flywheel, because we didn't actually rotate the debt like I was originally planning, because that's what we'd done before we had the system. Now that we got the system, this flywheel churn has put another little bit of a battery in the back of the portfolio. We're staying fully invested. We're going to be really flywheeling the margin to make sure that we're pulling as much debt into that margin account as possible, while still leaving us enough leeway to do the things we need to do, like pay our living expenses and all that good stuff. But we are metrically focusing on pulling this debt down, and because that's kind of the last thing I got left. As soon as I get that done, the portfolio will runneth over, because we've more or less got our spending within a medium of, we're basically only touching on necessities, a little nicety here and there every once in a blue, but focusing on necessities, getting stuff set up to where once this debt comes off, I have exponentially more money to invest, because that's kind of the way the snowball works. It's like you start getting to the downhill part, it starts rolling fast, because law of large numbers. Now you've got a lot of money coming in to invest. You're reinvesting a lot more money. Your savings percentage is through the roof. That's the whole premise of being fully invested. And the heavy lifting starts getting done for you. The credit score fluctuates. As you pay down the debt, credit score goes up. As you crank the flywheels and pull the debt out, it goes down. Now, for me, once the debt load is paid off, and the only thing I'm really using that flywheel for is paying off the flywheel debt, because everything is just, the only time I'm pulling large amounts of debt is to pay back, is to infuse my system with more cash to buy more assets to expand my wealth base. Once we get to that point, my credit score should not be fluctuating as drastically, because it's like if you've got over around $30,000 in debt and you pull $18,000 in debt out, you're shooting yourself back up. Like now you're at 48. You're all, like, that's going to hit your number a lot harder than if you have no debt and then you pull out $18,000 in debt and then you're immediately paying it back. So those are a couple of things that we're looking at that I'm getting excited for, because like we're getting down to that. Maybe we're about to hit the downhill part, like you fight your way up, and we're doing it during a bear market. And to be this optimistic and this bullish during a bear market is also uncharacteristic for me. But again, as I've said multiple times, this time around, I know what to do with the money. I know the direction that I'm going. I know what my thesis is. I have a system set up. So every dollar that comes in to me, into my ecosystem personally, I've got a job for it. I've got a plan for it. I know where it needs to go first. I know the second and third order effects of that. And I know what we're doing on the back end of that with the abilities to tap margin and things that don't affect my credit score. So things are looking good. Obviously, we took a step back, but I'm more optimistic than ever. Like, I am thoroughly enjoying this bull run. I'm thoroughly enjoying all the opportunities that we're being given at sub $70,000 Bitcoin, and I'm capitalizing on as many of them as possible. And that's the way that we're moving over here. So I hope you guys got a little value out of this. Hope you guys, those of you who are sitting in the wings hoping that I do bad, get whatever dopamine hit you need to have out of my net worth going down. But that's part of the game. You're not going to be going up consistently every month. No one is perfect, and that's just not the way assets work. For those of you who are thinking about having to check to see if I'm okay because Bitcoin's down, oh, baby, I am great. I'm buying. And I hope you're doing the same, because if you don't like it at this price, you probably shouldn't like it once we get back up over 100,000. You probably shouldn't like it as we get to 200,000. You shouldn't like it any of the way past now to 1 million, because the reality of it is a lot of people don't want to course correct. They don't want to admit that they were wrong. You had a dumb opinion. You've had a dumb opinion for what, 16, 17 years now, almost 18 years. That's awesome. And you've been wrong for that entire amount of time. And it just keeps getting better for us over here on this side. Number fluctuate or not, it is what it is. Math doesn't lie. The only thing that there is to argue about in finance, period, because it's math, is efficiency and efficacy. Do with that what you will. Until next month, this has been our financial update for the month of March of 2026. We will be back next month. The channel, Future Financial Strategies. If you're not subscribed, you might want to go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, you should do that. You should also share the video, because we are starting the charge. We're trying to break as many people out of the financial matrix as possible. And, you know, I'm doing my little part. There's quite a few of us that are putting out really great information that are tracking our journeys. Obviously not financial advice, but, you know, some people that you might want to tap into that are doing some things that are counter what the crowd is doing. We're not out here trading penny stocks. We're not trading meme coins. We're building actual wealth, getting actual results, and checking back in with you to give you those results of what we are actually doing in reality. So, yeah, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. Until next month, I'm out. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the portfolio update to get yourselves a little bit of context and some more gems. I'm out of here. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.